Hey, Jeremy, good morning.
Good morning, afternoon here. I've officially crossed over into noon, but yes.
Oh, wait, I don't hear you. Oh, there we go. Yay.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm so excited we're doing this.
Yeah, I think it's a long time coming, honestly. You and I
We've been
talk
talking
about a
about,
lot of things. You and I talk about a lot of things back and forth and say, we need to tell this to this person. We need to tell this to everybody. Everybody needs to hear about this. Everybody needs to hear about this. And okay, so now's the time where everybody's going to hear about this.
yes. So if you're watching live, thank you so much for being here. We are going to discuss all of this fun stuff. And then if you're watching this on the replay, definitely thanks for watching, because hopefully we're going to give you lots of good information that's going to make your color guard instruction better, or any marching arts, really. There's so much that we can contribute.
And I think that you and I like to talk, and I think that's very well known by anybody that knows us. And this seems like a perfect opportunity to talk to each other, talk about the color guard and marching arts world, and just celebrate that and be happy about that, and share information about different products and stuff that we know, so that other people can learn and experience and make better decisions. I mean, I'm just since I started Guard Closet, for me it's been about educating everybody else, right? Like, I have all this knowledge, and I don't mean how design, we have that too, how to choreograph, how to write drill, any of those things, but a lot of the product knowledge, a lot of how to measure your team, what's the right shoe for your particular performance, or what is the right glove, what is the right flag, even in some circumstances. There's all of these products that are out there, and I feel like there's a lot of different stuff from different companies, and nothing is really bad, in my opinion. I think they all have certain functions. So I know we're going to get into gloves a little bit later, and I think we can really sort of help people understand the difference between some of the major manufacturers of gloves. And I think that would be super helpful to everyone. So
yeah, when I was in high school, I actually used to get so many of the catalogs. I would go steal the catalogs from the band room and just look through them and look at all the different products, and there wasn't a lot, really. And nowadays it's there's so much stuff to choose from, so it's really, really helpful to know kind of what you're getting into and what you're looking at. And yeah, I don't know. And there also weren't any online color guard resources when I was in high school. I mean, the internet was brand new, so.
Just booming, just birthing. Yeah. I mean, imagine, I'm a little bit older than you are. Back when, just to talk about gloves, but back in my day, you had to buy weightlifting gloves, and then if you didn't want them to be white because that's the color they came in, we would take tea bags and steep the tea, and then put your gloves in the tea to get them to the right color of your skin tone. The longer you leave it in, the darker it gets. So it was craziness, and those gloves smelled bad.
I can imagine, because they smell bad now, just if you wear them and don't wash them, which that's another thing. When I was in school, they did have guard gloves specifically, but they didn't have they were all leather. They weren't washable.
Yeah.
So oh my gosh.
You might hear my dog every once in a while. She's new.
You might hear my baby. He's supposed to be sleeping next door, but I can hear him singing. So
Yeah. Well, I think we were gonna start when we were talking about how this should go, right? We like to talk. So how about some marching arts topics that are out there in the news right now? We start with our little color guard hot topics, and then move on from there. So I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, let's go. So the very first hot topic is, I want to say congratulations to Avon, because anybody who doesn't know, who doesn't keep up with WGI or doesn't know, Avon High School, which is in Avon, in Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Avon, Indiana. I always want to say Ohio for some reason. That's
not
what it is. It's definitely Indiana. they won. I it's not the official title, but I like to call it the Triple Crown of indoor
Oh yeah,
marching
totally.
arts.
Oh yeah, but we just made it up. There it is, the Triple Crown. Done.
The Triple Crown. So they won top guard in the world, top uh indoor drumline in the world, and top winds group
Right.
in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Just swept. Like,
Yeah, they're feeding something. They're feeding something to the kids in Indiana for
I
sure.
I
For sure.
actually I saw a really funny I don't know if it was on TikTok or Twitter, one of them. There was somebody had said something about, you know, we're going to bottle water from the Avon High School band room fountain and just
Yeah, the
and then
fountain.
somebody
Right.
actually made a TikTok in response of them going to, like, somebody from Avon made a response of them going to the water fountain and drinking out of it. It was great.
Oh my God. Those, and you know what? They're like, I find that they're always like the most well-behaved, the nicest, like kids and instructors, you know, like when you're fostering that type of environment where everybody wants to excel and everybody wants to do good, it's going to just like bump each other up, right? It's sort of like almost competition within your own marching band that like continues to make each section of the marching band better, right?
But it's
Uh,
supportive competition. That's what I
right,
love, is it's not like,
right.
"Oh, I'm gonna cut you down and to make myself better." It's like, "I'm gonna get better so that you also can get better, or I'm gonna inspire you to get better, or you're gonna be even better than me." Like, that's what the kind of competition that I absolutely love, is that supportive competition.
Yeah, yeah. And like I think it like even among the staff can be like a challenge and a not again, not in a bad way, but just like, oh, we've got to like think more creatively than the drum line, or we've got to like work harder than the wind so that we all sort of, you know, work together. I mean, I know when I had groups that were, you know, a drum line and a color guard at the school, they were constantly sort of pushing each other, you know, like watching each other bring the drum line in to watch the color guard for a rehearsal and just to see how that rehearses. Is sort of interesting. One of the things that I found super interesting is we did an episode with Tim Hinton from Marching Arts Education, Marching Arts Now. We had percussionists, WGI percussionists, and WGI color guard people, and like sort of talking about like what could be learned from each other in those situations. Because I have to tell you, those drummers, like they do some stuff that is just like mind blowing. And you're like,
Yes.
how did you do that? Like last night we were doing a drumline thing and I was like, how do you maneuver all of those props? How do you pay for all those props? How do you like, you know, it's just like crazy, right? And there's so much to
Yes.
learn from each other.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how. Like, we looked into starting if you guys ever heard of Ozark Mountain Percussion, we looked into starting a percussion group here where I'm from, and it's like, I don't even know how. I don't know.
It's
I
money.
really
It's
would
money.
take, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely is going to take some money, and we do not have that here.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's so funny because we were doing the webinar and they were like, you know, yeah, Grantes Paranda was on and he's like, yeah, color guard is a floor and some flags, like done,
Yep.
right? Like, I mean, that's like under, you know, $2,000 at you know, like that's nothing.
Right.
You could put on
Right.
like a really elegant, lovely, amazing show. Well, if you don't have like tens of thousands of dollars in instruments and tens of thousands of dollars in backdrops, like in percussion land, I guess it doesn't work. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild. There's something else too I wanted to talk about, because I made a post about this on our social medias, on the Spintronic social medias, and I got a lot of questions about it from people who don't get on Twitter and such that much. So there was some drama. There was some tea with a school board in here in Missouri, which if it was somewhere else, I probably would not have even like. I would have just been like, you know what? I'll just talk to them personally. But here it's in Missouri. It's my own state, and so I'm kind of like, my heart goes out to it. So Grain Valley, the school board there decided to like make a ruling that teachers couldn't have safe space stickers on their doors to indicate that they're a safe space for students to, you know, for mostly for LGBT students to come out to them, to talk to them, to get resources and
Yeah.
things like that. And I really like, I wanted to show some support to that, because you know, I understand, like, the ruling was made in the decision of, like, the school board members' minds were saying, you know, we want all of our school to be considered a safe space. We want it to be, you know, and that just kind of goes to show, though, their uneducation about it, because actually indicating something is a safe, like a school, it should be a safe space. I
Right.
understand a school should be safe, but like actually indicating that like on your classroom door shows as a teacher that you are comfortable with students coming out to them. You know what to do, you know what resources to get to those students, you know how to take care of them, and that's the safe space part. Because like when I first started out as a teacher, I always wanted to consider myself a safe space, but if a kid came out to me, I had no idea what to do. I was just like, okay, cool, good job, dude. You
Good for
know,
you.
yeah. And
Yeah.
but like I learned over time, you know, how to be a good ally for that sort of thing, and you know how what kind of resources to get to those students. And so anyway, I just wanted to say to all of those students that we support you guys, and you know, if you need help,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
I
make
mean,
sure
we are
you
that community, right? Like
yes,
the marching arts is that community, like no matter what. Like
right.
sports was never going to play that role, you know. We are where everybody else gets dumped, you know, and that sounds
Yeah.
bad to say, but like it's good in a sense because we are probably, you know, the most diverse, the most cultural, like every single kid performer that comes into the marching arts is coming looking for a family, and we always supply it. We always supply it. Like everybody is always welcome in our world. Like I've never heard anybody at any rehearsal at any place go, yeah, we don't want that person. Like,
Yeah. Oh no,
you
it never
know, like
happens.
it doesn't matter. And you know, it goes even so far as like you see kids in wheelchairs, you see blind kids,
Yep.
like we make accommodations for every single possibility. And
And it goes the other way too. Do you know how many cheerleaders we've had on Spintronics team? Or like I've actually taught a band here where the cheer captain was also the drum major of the marching band. And there were football players in the band who would like during halftime, they would come out in their football uniform and do the halftime show and then go back and do the, you know, the discussions with their team right afterwards. It's wild.
yeah. I mean, I think that's why I like this activity as much as I do, because it's just
Yeah.
like one big melting pot of whoever is tolerant. And that's a very like sort of negative word in a way, but like you have to be, and maybe the better way to say it is accepting. Like
Mhm.
you are forced in your life when you're in this activity to accept everybody, because you have to work as a team. You have to like rely on that person next to you even more so at times than like a sports team. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
yes, you know, we're all after our own individual games and we all have our own individual positions that we play in the game and we all contribute. But when you're contributing to something artistic and something entertaining, like it's a different thing. Like we just have different responsibilities emotionally. You know, the football players aren't out there giving your heart, right? I mean,
Right.
the coach, I'm sure, says that give it your all, give it your heart, but like we have to show that. Like you're seeing
Yeah.
us and you need to see that. So I think that's why the marching arts like leads with our heart, right? Like that's where we start from. We lead from that.
Yes, yes, I love it so much. So let's talk about these gloves because
Okay.
yeah, yeah, that I feel
Product
like
time.
this
Product
is our
time.
giving
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
everybody. So I have two pairs of gloves here. I went and dug my Everdries out of my bag. So I have some Everdries and I have a pair of grip factors, which these are size small, so there's no way I'm gonna squeeze my fingers
Well,
into
I
these
mean, they are
babies.
very stretchy.
They are.
Yeah, they are very stretchy. I
Okay.
have the large grip factor glove right here. And
Oh,
so
sweet.
yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
definitely, and yeah, yeah, that's not fitting on your hand. But I like this glove. I like this grip factor glove for a multitude of reasons. One, this is like my favorite. Like this low profile and this mesh like on the back that like lets your hand breathe, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like that to me is like everything. I'm a career flag though. So for me, this is probably more than adequate. I did have some guard closet people at WGI spin with these on. And like if you're throwing a 7 on Saber, you're probably going to feel it, right? Like on, you know,
Yeah,
but you're going to feel that no matter what. Like you're going to feel
right.
that in the glove no matter what. I do know, like, and I guess you could sort of see here, like the padding on these is pretty raised, like
Mhm.
on the particular points that you're, you know, that are there. And the little
with the
grippy
black one.
things are, are there and helpful. They're like kind of like rubberized, like little dots, I guess, to help with the grip. But I do know, and these are Style Plus Grip Factor gloves, I do know that over the past year or so, if you've gotten these like a couple of years ago, more like little layers of padding have been added in here from previous versions. So this is, I definitely have a newer version, and you can see there,
Yeah, I
right?
think I do
Like,
too.
yeah, like it's definitely raised up more than I think it was in the past, because I know that was some of the criticism of the glove, right? Was that it just didn't have enough padding here. Everybody loved this side,
Yeah.
but yeah, I will say,
Well,
like, oh, go ahead.
I like too that there's like two snaps. So like if you need to snug it up, something you can snap it here. If you need to snug it up, you can snap it over
Yeah,
here a little more.
yeah, I'm in the large, and I definitely would want to go to the second snap around my wrist, just because it does feel a little loose on the wrist. Um, but yeah, that's probably a lot better in terms of that. Now, maybe my hand needs a medium. I mean, I do have like a little bit of gap up here and stuff like that, but I think the large is like the size that I would go with. I was like, I have this handy dandy little measuring tape, and I don't even know like how you would measure your hand to figure out if you're a large, but I feel like, all right, I guess my hand is like 4 inches wide. Maybe that's how, I don't know, like this way. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you. Did I lose?
Sorry. It's across on the ball of your hand where they do the
Yeah.
measurement.
Okay. So yeah, I'm like right at that 4 inches. So the 4 inches and the large with the grip factor is probably good. If you're
I
just
also
under
tend to
4
wear a
inches,
large, so I want to see. I'm 3.5 inches.
yeah, so you're probably more of a medium. I was gonna say, like I feel like I'm like almost at 3.5 inches too, but just a little over. That's why I'm
I'm
probably
just
like,
a little under 3.5, so I'd probably wear a medium in
yeah,
these.
you're probably definitely a medium in that for sure, for sure.
Uh, yeah, one of the other criticisms that happened with these is a lot. Now, this was more than just a couple of years
Yeah.
ago, like a long time ago. We actually bought these for our Christmas parade because Christmas parade outside and it's cold and so on, and the poles are cold. Um, and the little dots like froze and fell off like during the parade. So we're
Yeah.
like walking along and there's all this little confetti. These so far from those students who I have who have the new version, they've lasted, and we've done Halloween, 2 Christmas parades, and like our normal marching seasons with them. So they those dots are not going anywhere anymore.
Yeah, Style Plus has definitely like made strides in improving this glove for sure. I mean, I've talked to Tim, at Style Plus, and for $15.95, and here's the other thing, people, like, not for nothing, but like this is like a season, right? This is $15-16 for a season. I wouldn't like. There's this weird mindset that you buy this thing and it's supposed to last you for like 4 years or something. Like, we don't do that with our normal clothes, right? And I mean,
Nope.
you're putting these through some stuff. So it's $16. Like, think of it this way. How many reeds does the clarinet player pay for? How many drumsticks does the drummer have to buy? Like, these are kind of like our reeds and our drumsticks, in that this might be something you have to purchase like maybe halfway through the winter season or something, like if you have
Or
that.
you might buy 2 at the beginning of the year, and then
Right.
one is for
Right.
practice, one is for performances. We have a lot of members that do that too.
Yeah, it's just you can't really think that this is going to last, And if it starts to look gross, buy a new pair, because all it does is look like a gross like thing on the end of your hand. You're like, doing all this stuff. Like, that's what like immediately drives me crazy when I'm like,
They're machine washable too, though, right?
yeah. Yeah, that's
Like,
the
yeah,
thing.
these are
Yeah.
machine washable. So when they stink, throw them in the washing machine.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think just gloves in general, and we can move on to the grip or the EverDry, but I just think gloves in general, like if one person has them, everybody needs to have them, right?
Right. Yes.
And if one person has one style, everybody should have the same style. Like, don't leave it to chance that, you're literally looking at the hands. Like,
Yeah.
that's what people are doing. They're looking at your hands. You catch something, you catching it, like, it's hands. It's hands.
Yeah.
So
Well,
like,
especially like if you're an indoor guard, the downstairs judges, the equipment judge is literally looking at your hands. And if you have one person wearing something that's really thin, some person wearing something that's really thick, like that could look like your hand is in a slightly different place on the pole, and you might actually lose points over it because you're not matching your technique.
yeah. Yeah. And it's different, right? It's different. It's different. I know people, like, I know weapons that will only spin with the left glove, right? Or I mean, right, no, the right glove, like that's the catching
Yeah.
glove. They'll only wear the right glove. And I sort of get that because sabers, I've heard a lot, like, don't like how high most of the gloves come on the fingers, like all the way up.
See, and I wish mine were a little higher.
Oh, really? Yeah. Like they're always like, it's too high, I'm gonna cut it off. It's too high, I'm gonna cut it off. But if you're only wearing one, I guess everybody needs to wear one, right? Like,
Yeah.
if the sabers are going to decide, okay, all the sabers are only going to wear one glove, then fine. But I don't understand why you wouldn't put the other one on. Like, like, just put it on.
Well, and there's this mindset that, like, if you learn how to do color guard without gloves, it's hard to get into gloves, or you don't want to wear gloves or whatever. And I've had some students who were like that, and it was like, no, like, this is a step. This is a step of learning like how to be better at color guard. You can do color guard without gloves, but there's gonna be a threshold you hit, and it's like you're not gonna be able to really hit those high tosses, really get that perfect technique if you don't have the gloves for it.
And like, there's a fear, right? Like, I wouldn't want to be throwing a piece of metal into the air and like hitting my bare hand. Like, no way. That's why I was never a weapon, by the way. But like, I would never. That sounds so scary to me. Like,
what does that say about me, though? Like, that I like love it so much. I don't know. I've been told it looks like I'm sticking my hand into a salad shooter sometimes with that saber.
Yeah. Like, just get in there. You just gotta like go for it, and then you hope for the best, right? Like, yeah.
So with the Ever Dries, these are much, much thicker, of course, than the grip factors are, but like, and the padding covers the whole thing, but it's thicker in spots. It's not just like this giant. You're not just like sticking a pillow in your hand and then trying to do color guard, which I feel like when guard gloves first started being a separate thing from weightlifting gloves, I feel like that's what they did. They were like, we're just going to stick a pillow in your hand.
Yeah.
And then you're going to try to do color guard. And it's not like that anymore. So there's a lot of padding. Of course, like you were saying, that you don't have that low profile on the back, but
that drives me nuts. I'm like, pointing to it. That drives me nuts right now. Well,
I might also, I like to wear larges. And like we were saying, like I'm just slightly under 3.5 inches. So maybe that's part of the problem with this on me. Cause I know not all my students have that issue. A lot of them, it sits nice and flat like that. But yeah, like it's not as low profile. It's like, it's a little bit like higher. But personally, if you've ever wrapped your knuckles with your equipment accidentally, that hurts. Anyway, the padding is most thick right in here. Notice the padding goes up on my fingers pretty high. And I honestly, even these, I'm like, I want it higher. I want it to go up, which is crazy and like not the same way.
You want just like this little itty bitty piece of like skin showing.
Yeah, that's I'm like, let's go ahead and put some tip covers too, so I don't snack.
I don't want to damage my fingers at all.
Exactly. I have a lot of sewing to do, so they also have this right here, which I wish I had this when I was a performer, because I have hit this spot so much.
Oh yeah, because it's coming right in there.
Like,
right, yeah. It like
exactly. If your thumb is just slightly off, I dislocated my right hand twice. In fact, my hand is just like this just like stays purple all the time. It's never gone back to normal. So that's a spot that just gets hit quite often. And but yeah, and it is a thicker padding. I don't know that there's more padding though. I actually just think it's less dense, maybe, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
this is
once you
more
break it in, it
compact.
like packs down.
Yeah, this is more compact from the
Yeah.
get-go. From the get-go. And that's like a little more fluffy to start. I do find like putting on the grip factor glove does feel slicker, I guess, and like I'm not putting a lot on my hand, I guess. I feel like sometimes the ever dries does feel like I'm putting something on my hand. You know
Which
what I
I
mean?
want.
Right.
Because I'm
And
like,
it
don't touch my
depends.
hands.
Right. And I think that's what we're here, that's why we're here, is to sort of say,
Yeah.
like, it depends, like think about your show and think about what it is, and what you really are going for. I mean, you know, sure, they're basically the same. The price is basically the same.
Yeah.
The wear and tear, whether it's grip factor or whether it's ever dry, whether it's whatever glove, I would still say, like, get another pair of gloves.
Hmm.
Don't try and, like, I'm just like, they're falling apart, they're falling off people's hands. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just get another one. It's only $16. Like, I mean, come on. I was just looking up the price for the Everdries. The price for the Everdries is $17.95.
Okay.
So the grip factors are $15.95 and the Everdries are $17.95. And it makes a little bit of sense. I can
Yeah.
see why that would be the way that it would be.
Well, there's just literally a little bit more fabric here to the glove. Well, okay, great. I'm looking at a small versus a large, but there
Yeah.
is more fabric here. This comes down the wrist a little bit more at the
Okay.
bottom, whereas this kind of like stops right at the edge of my hand.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that I think just materials alone makes a difference.
And here's the thing, people. When you're done with your gloves at the end of rehearsal, the worst thing to do is like stick them in your bag or stick them in a, like, I've seen people like put them back in the plastic bag.
Yeah, don't do that.
Ew, that's
Don't do that.
disgusting.
They
You
need to
just
breathe.
sweat all over these things. Now it's full of like gross bacteria, and you're gonna stick it in a bag that's just gonna make all that bacteria grow and be gross and disgusting. And that's why they smell. That's why they smell. Get yourself a little mesh bag or something like that, attach them to the outside of your book bag, you know what I mean? So they can air dry a little bit before you go shoving them in your bag. Like, don't just
A lot of
shove
my
them.
performers like snap them onto their
Yeah.
rifle straps or something, or their
Yeah.
saber hilts.
Yeah. And just leave it in an open space so they can dry. They can air dry. You're like going to stick them in a bag. It's going to go like this. They're going to come out like a smush little ball, and you're going to go, I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, how many crusty times it's been like, I got to put the gloves on. I got to put the gloves on. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, just let them dry. Just
Take care of your stuff, basically.
Yeah. There's going to be a meeting like at the end of rehearsal in the hot sun. Throw these on the ground before you throw them in the bag. Let them bake in the sun for a second. Then put them in your bag, right?
Oh, you know what else I do? Those little shoe balls. It's like a little ball and it has like baking powder or baking soda inside, and you like twist it. I keep those in your bag. Like I keep those in my bag where in the pocket that my gloves go in. So
Yeah, no, I mean, please, I can't tell you how many. And what does every color guard do when they like start their show or something? They all come in together. We're all holding hands. We're all doing this, and like I'm standing in the middle, going, "Whoa, there's a lot of smells around here."
yep, the gloves are the thing that they can reek. They can absolutely reek. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, terrible. Well, I think this is a lovely glove conversation. I know that there's other gloves out there with other companies, and some other companies are doing things with colors and getting more of a diversity in terms of the coloring of gloves.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's coming from everybody, but I'm actually going to go even further and say, think about your glove as part of your design. Think about your design as part of your glove, right? So like, if you are going to put your gloves on and your costume is made, so maybe it has a finger loop in it or something, it pulls down over top, and it's going to pull up to here. now you're covering all of this pretty much anyway, right? So like
Yeah.
you could get your, and that's going to lengthen your arm. It's going to lengthen everything. So I think there is a cool need for, you know, the different colors of gloves, but I challenge on the flip side too and go, well, maybe your design of your costume just needs to be thought of a little bit differently, because that would make a huge difference, I think.
Yeah, like we actually made a change about halfway through the season this year, maybe not quite halfway through the season. So at Spintronics, we've used the like tan gloves forever and ever and ever. And uh just regardless of what our costume is or whatever, that way we don't really have to think about it. And this year, we did Fight Club was our show, and some of our performers were like, we think black gloves look really good with the costume. And so we went through and we got everybody black gloves, and it was just so cool to
Yeah, I
do.
think with that type of show, absolutely. Or if you're smart, and you're designing it, you could put an ombre all the way down your sleeve that goes to black.
There we go.
Right? That fades to black, and then you have the black glove, and then you're really just looking at like that extension of the fingers, right?
Yeah.
To go on. It's just lengthening that arm, right? This cuts off, right? My color is blue, and then it's pale white. So like it cuts off. Imagine if this went all the way up, and now it's a much longer look. So like leaf points are more clear, they look longer, like everything just creates a nicer line when you think about that whole design all the way down.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I noticed you have an ad queued up here. Should we do that?
Yeah, we'll come back from a little commercial break.
Okay, let's do that. So here's a note from our sponsors. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can make the switch.
Stop!
Nice. I always like your little ads and everything for Guard Closet.
Well, yeah, I mean, we started off as a consignment company, and then when I took over, I knew that I could do much more, and I had much more knowledge, and I wanted to share that. So we've expanded Guard Closet, and now it's new and used. You can send your consignment to us, and then when it sells, you can get either 60% back cash or 75% back credit to buy new stuff. So the new flagpoles, your new uniforms, your new shoes, your new whatever, you can like turn that money around. One university sent us all of this stuff. They had like $4,000 in consignment credit. They didn't even pay for their floor and half of the stuff this year because they did it through us, and it was already there in consignment. So we've gone that direction, and now we're also adding in design and consultations and music arranging, percussion arranging, all those kinds of things, because I'm really tired of seeing all of these box shows. It's driving me a little bit nuts. And that's not to go against some of the people, they're friends of mine, but it literally says show in a box. I don't know about you, but as a color guard person, I'm want to be out of that box. I don't want to be put in a box. Because I even say when you buy that box show, throw that title out the window, throw that graphic that they put on that show out the window, and listen to the music and make it different and make it your own and design something that is uniquely you, and don't just get something for the sake of getting it, right? But that's what we're here to help you with. We could do that. We could help you with the choreography, we could help you with the design, we could help you with the drill, we could help you with the music arranging. If it's 32 counts, we can help you. If you're the ballad needs rewritten musically, drum wise, choreography wise, whatever, we could help you do that. I am all about making every program look amazing. And I think every program has the possibility to look amazing. It hurts my heart when I see like shows out there that I was like, if I had one rehearsal with them, I could like change the entire game for them. So that's kind of where this is all coming from. That's where this whole guard closet thing is coming from, is having designers, having experienced people on the guard closet staff that can help whoever accomplish whatever you need. And they're all here to do that for you. So I think that's like the key. And this is one of the things, right? Like us doing this weekly, you know, hopefully is guard closet giving back to the community and really trying to educate and not just sell you crap. I hate that. I don't want to just sell crap. I want to educate you why that crap is the crap you need.
Yeah, and you know me, it's Spintronics. I'm all about education and all about individual learning and pushing forward and, you know, going through and trying to do exactly what, well, we were just talking about Tarpon earlier in the chat, and, you know, like not just trying to do what Tarpon does because that's them, like actually learning, you know, the basics behind it and how to build up to those skills.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to have some guests on as we do this that are going to start doing that, right? Like
Yes.
Andre Williams, who's going to be new to Guard Closet, is an amazing choreographer, you know, talks about things in terms of a curriculum. Imagine that. Like we're education based and we can talk about things as a curriculum, not just going to rehearsal and learning some spins. Like what is the curriculum for your, you know, your particular group? And it's different, right? For every
and
group.
Band directors everywhere are crying like, yay, we can get some color guard curriculum.
Yeah, right? Like, because people are like, color guard should be paid more, and, you know, like we should have better rehearsal facilities and all these kinds of things. But have you done the work, right, to sort of demand that in a sense? Like, have you done that? And I think that our goal is to teach you all of those things, right? There is no school for color guard yet. There is no, you know, there is no certification for color guard yet. But we want to educate you as best we can, to help you as best we can. Move the activity forward.
And we want to do this every week. So if you're watching now, or if you're watching on the replay later, come back every week, Thursdays at noon Eastern time. And yeah, we want to keep doing this. I think this is great, Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally excited. We'll go as long as everybody wants us to go, and as long as there's things to talk about, I think, because, and you and I can just talk, you know, whatever.
Yeah. It's like our expertise. If there was a certification in that.
Yes, we've got that down pat.
We're good.
Yeah. Well, this has certainly been fun, and I'm excited for next week. And, you know, we'll get this out there to everybody so you can watch it in the rebroadcast or podcast it or however else this is going to go out there. But if you like it, you know, share it, tell us, ask questions. If you want to know about products, like if there's questions.
Oh yeah, comment the products. I literally read all the comments. Like, so comment your questions about stuff. If there's products you're interested in, what you want to see, like we can get stuff and we can show you what everything is. And if you need to discuss on here, that would be awesome too. Just let us know what's going on in the color guard world.
Yeah. So excited. Yay.
All right, Jeremy, I'm going to go. I hear a baby stirring around, so I'm going to go and see why we're not napping right now.
Yeah. Get it under control, Jackie. Get him under control.
All right. Well, this has been fun. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like the Guard Closet Facebook page. Subscribe to Spintronics on YouTube. Okay. And we'll see you next week.